It's trash day, I'm putting you out, it's trash day. Putting you out, it's trash day. Putting you out of my mind. It's trash day, I'm putting you out, it's trash day. I'm putting you out, trash day, I'm putting you out of my mind. Now I'm gonna clean up, now I'm gonna clean up, now I'm gonna clean up the house. Taking all your garbage, taking all your garbage, taking all your garbage.
And welcome back to another Can Crusher Spotlight. Guys, this week's episode is with one of the jesters, one of the clowns, one of the bushwhackers of OVW, and it is Shiloh Jonze. Guys, this interview was great. I can't wait for you to hear it. I'm not going to spoil anything else that we talked about in it. So right after this break from one of our favorite clothing companies, Collar and Elbow, you'll be able to hear Shiloh and all the nonsense that he brings to OVW.
Wrestling. A love and a passion we all share. I've started a wrestling brand. The wrestling brand. A brand founded on the aspects of wrestling. Two entities working together to create a product that connect emotionally for people everywhere. Collar and Elbow is the brand. Passion and love for wrestling is the drive. I am Al Snow, and this is Collar and Elbow, the wrestling brand.
And welcome back to Can Crushers. We are here with Shiloh Jonze. He's been in the business 15 plus years. You've seen him in OVW, you've seen him in ROH, and now most recently, you've seen him on Impact. Shiloh, welcome to the show.
Yo, homeboy, what it do?
It do a lot, let me tell you. If you're going to come at me like that, I'm going to come right back and say, why are you wearing those funky clothes now on OVW?
What do you mean funky? I know style, I have pizzazz, and I'm bringing back all the freshest gear that you've ever seen. I'm live and in effect in living color every week.
In living color is perfect. I definitely like that. That is a throwback. So you've been a multi-time champion, 3-time TV champ, 5-time tag champ, and 1 Anarchy champ. Let's talk about those a little bit.
Let's do it. What do you want to know?
Why are you not still TV champ? What is going on with you and the entourage?
Well, if you ask me, the only reason I don't have the belt right now is politics. They've got this goddamn TV title gauntlet going on. And, that decreases your chances for survival every week. But it's just a matter of time, really, before I get that belt back.
Yeah, it is. If you're the champ, odds are stacked against you as you're facing 6, 7, 8 people each week. And
it's ridiculous.
It's unbelievable. Al needs to change that because the TV champ is my favorite championship ever.
It's a good-looking belt, too.
It is a great-looking belt. That's a side note. That is a great-looking belt. So let's reverse all the way back after we got done with that. And how did Shiloh get into wrestling? Was it grandpa? Was it mom? Was it dad? How did you get involved in wrestling?
Geez, as far back as I can remember, as far back as my memories go, I've been watching wrestling. I remember one of my earliest memories is watching WrestleMania 4. So since day one that I can remember, I've been wanting to be a wrestler. This was my path, and I followed it all the way through high school. I remember in elementary school, first grade actually, you're supposed to draw a picture of what you want to be when you grow up, and I drew myself as the third bushwhacker. So
nice.
So I've been wanting to do this since I can remember.
The bushwhacker. So
yes,
that's your favorite growing up?
It was one of my favorites, and you know what? It's not too late. I can hopefully still fulfill that dream at some point.
Your gear.
That's the third bushwhacker.
Well, you would be the second now, but
oh, that's true. The third, and I guess in number that there have been.
Your gear would have to change tremendously.
I might freshen it up, like Bushwhackers 2K19, something like that. I think me and Dave could pull that off.
I could definitely see you and DL3 pulling that off. God, if Al does not make that happen in the near future, that's unbelievable.
Absolutely.
So, with the Bushwhackers, in the WrestleMania 4 tournament, who were you pulling for?
Shoot. I was a big Randy Savage guy, if I can remember correctly. And I believe, is that the one where they had a battle royal in the beginning?
Yes.
And I remember cheering for Bad News Brown because I felt sorry for him that he didn't have any friends.
You must have been the only person cheering for Bad News Brown.
Yeah, he was outnumbered. It wasn't right.
Right. I'm agreeing with you there. Unbelievable. But now you've moved up the list on my favorite OVW fan is you were only the second person it has told me that you're a Macho Man fan.
Oh, well, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I know.
There should be much more of us.
Some of those people in that locker room, you need to just smack around.
I will, just for you.
Nice. Training-wise, you have trained with Danny Davis, you have trained with Al Snow, you've trained with Rip. Who else did you train with before you got to OVW?
When I first started training, I trained in Seattle. I trained under the legendary Buddy Wayne out there, and I was one of his first students to make the move over here to OVW. And then once I got here, I was under the tutelage of Joey Matthews for a while, Nick Dinsmore for about 2 years, and I'd also credit a lot of my learning to Rob Conway as well.
Big Rob.
Yeah, I learned a lot from him.
Nice. Tell us the differences, though, a little bit about the Danny Davis OVW and now the Al Snow OVW. Al
Snow, he's much more hands-on in just about everything. And I've learned so much about how to not just be a good wrestler, but to be a character, an entertainer under Al. Every week I'm working on some kind of pointer or something that he gives me to get better and better. And he's just always there, always ready to give you some advice and teach you something. And as long as your ears are open, you're going to get better. You just can't help it.
Nice. That's great. One other thing before I really start ripping on you about some of the work that you've done recently. So you've been in the business for 15 plus years, as I said. In that time, you've seen some major names come through OVW.
Absolutely. Let's
talk about some of those that you've had the opportunity to pick their ear and what you've gotten from some of those names.
Well, I'd say one of my biggest influences was Joey Matthews. He kind of took me under his wing when I first got here, and I really learned the mentality it takes, the mental toughness it takes to not only survive in wrestling but to thrive, and how to conduct yourself. And not only that, he's just a tremendous worker. So it was really cool getting to learn from him. Other people I've gotten to not only work with but become friends with that have really changed my life and taught me a lot were people like Victor from the Ascension. He was pretty awesome. Brad Maddox, Jamin Olivencia. There's just so many. There's been so many over the years that have been really cool. Rockstar, Spud, Rob Terry. The list goes on and on.
Rockstar Spud seems like the guy that you want to have in your corner when you're out having some drinks.
Oh man, he's a wild man. What you see on camera is basically him. There's really no difference.
He's unbelievable. That's one of somebody that I always wanted to not meet, just go have drinks with. I never have to talk with him, just have drinks, because his persona just comes across as crazy.
He's the man. He's everything you see on TV.
Nice. So you recently did some work for the Cartoon Network. What, Ed, Edd n Eddy? Or, because I could see you and DL3.
Okay. Okay.
No?
Not Ed, Edd n Eddy, no. Actually, I crashed their music festival last year because they had my arch nemesis, Open Mike Eagle, performing. And I had some unsettled beef to cook, let's just say, with Open Mike, and that I did that night with Cartoon Network.
And it's out there to be seen?
I believe so. It was on their concert feed, and there actually is some stuff that's going to be released regarding that incident here soon, and I'll keep you updated.
Oh, well, good. That will definitely be something that we watch on Can Crushers, and I can't wait to see this. This is just unbelievable.
I tell you what, right now, it'll be a Can Crushers exclusive once I get this footage.
Excellent. That's even better. We will definitely post that. So you've worked in ROH. Let's touch on that before we get back into what's going on in OVW right now. You've worked with some big names that are opening an elite wrestling organization right now.
Yes, I worked the Young Bucks for Ring of Honor. I guess I should back up a little bit. This was when Jim Cornette was involved with Ring of Honor.
Correct.
He saw my work in OVW and gave me a handful of shots with Ring of Honor, and one of the matches I had there was me and TJ Perkins versus the Young Bucks. It was just an awesome experience in front of that Baltimore crowd.
What did you learn from the backstage at ROH compared to OVW?
It was actually pretty easy going, and I don't know if people get much more easy going than the Young Bucks. They were very easy to work with. It was just a really good experience as far as at that time I was fairly young. And this was a big moment for me, and they just took care of me. It was a really cool to see that level of, what should I say, like expertise there on display for me to learn from.
Nice. You brought up my favorite manager of all time, Jim Cornette. Please tell me you have any type of story about James E. that would be amazing, because everybody in wrestling loves him.
Let's see. At our 1000th episode last year, Open Mike Eagle I had seen that he was going around asking different legends for their advice for his match against me later on in the show. And he went and asked Jim Cornette, how can I beat Shiloh Jonze? And Jim Cornette unleashed one of the best promos I've ever heard about me to Open Mike Eagle, and right now it's giving me goosebumps. You know what? I think I have footage of that too that hasn't been seen. Mark, I might just send that over to you after this.
That would be amazing.
Yes.
That would trump anything that I have on Facebook right now to put that up tonight.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that would be great. You also recently, this past weekend, worked with the Impact wrestlers. Let's chat about that, as it was Clash in the Bluegrass, and you were against OVE.
Yes, OVE, they've been encroaching on OVW territory these last few weeks. And, I can't let people do that in my hood. I'm not going to let that slide, so I had to represent. And there's a clip of me moving, shucking, jiving, and whooping that ass on Facebook too. And it's gotten something crazy, like 8,000 or 9,000 views. It was awesome. Right now, I'm getting goosebumps because I hit him with that spinneroonie right after a drop kick, and the crowd just erupted.
Note to everyone listening to this, if you weren't in the Kentucky area, that is able to be watched this Saturday night at 8 o'clock on Global Wrestling Network. Guys, if you haven't watched it, get to watching it because it's a phenomenal show with everybody that was on it, right?
Absolutely. It was a great show. It far exceeded expectations and just a sign of things to come with OVW.
Yeah, OVW, we can't release anything, but I know OVW has a lot in the hopper, and Davis Arena is in for one hell of a summer, don't you say?
I would say so. Stay tuned, like you said. It's a lot of big things coming.
So, OVW, they're on show 1020. You know, it's been running pretty much forever. Talk about how that just continues to grow. I mean, it's up there with Raw. It's up there with, you know, SmackDown's got 1,000. It's beaten MASH, for the love of God. You know,
Yep.
It's just one of the longest running shows. Talk about how that continues to progress to get better. And what else do you do? Do you have anything in the back that you help out with people?
Well, I can tell you as far as how the show has grown and changed and evolved over time. I was here actually for our 500th episode, so many years ago. And to think about all the different names that have come through, all the different just world-class teachers and coaches and trainers that have been a part of this show and that we're still going, and not only going, but stronger. I would say in all my time here, this is the strongest we've ever been. And it's just a testament to the amount of blood, sweat, and tears that go into OVW. I think when you watch OVW TV, the thing you will get out of it more than anything else is the passion. The passion comes across on the screen. And I invite anybody, if you haven't checked us out, check us out, because that's the first thing you're going to notice.
I say that every week on the show. It is just, it's an hour full of awesomeness. You have new school wrestling. You have some lucha stuff involved. You have hardcore. And damn it, you got the It Girls. So,
hell yeah.
Right? It is just filled with everything that you love. And it's just,
yeah.
And it's free. For the love of God, it's free on YouTube.
Do yourself a favor out there if you haven't seen it. Check it out.
So, we're going to jump back into you now, and then back into OVW. How about, who would be your dream match against one past, one present, and then where, why, and what's the stipulation? I know that's a lot thrown at you.
That is a lot. I'll start with the past. If I could have one dream match, it would be against Dusty Rhodes.
Oh my God.
Because we could get that crowd on their feet. I guarantee it. It would be just an electric match. Hopefully somewhere in, if I could pick the place, it would be somewhere in maybe Charlotte, and just that old school NWA style awesome match between me and the Dream. I also, when I'm thinking to the past, though, my favorite wrestler of all time was Shawn Michaels. Me and him could tear the house down, too. I mean, he could tear the house down with anybody, but that would be a dream come true. As far as present, that's a good question. I don't know if it counts, but he's quasi-retired. But me and The Undertaker would be pretty awesome, too.
That would be a pretty damn awesome match. I would agree with you. Yeah, he's quasi-retired for this year, for right now, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Stipulation in any of them? The Dusty Rhodes one, I'm not going to let you have a stipulation because it's my podcast, and you don't need a stipulation in that one.
Fine. Okay, that's fine. Not even a dance-off or anything with me and the Dust?
I would give you a dance-off with HBK.
Okay. Well, that'd be an easy win. A dance-off with Dusty, I don't know if I could win.
No, that's why I said no stipulation.
Okay. And if I'm fighting The Undertaker, we got to make it buried alive.
Nice.
Yeah, someone's not getting out of there.
Him.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
so much stronger than him, please.
I'm pretty sure I am, yeah.
Oh my God. So in about 25 minutes to a half an hour, we're going to have a live show on one of our other things, and we're going to talk about the Mount Rushmore of wrestling. So that's the question I'm going to ask you, the main question of the night. Who's your Mount Rushmore of wrestling?
My personal Mount Rushmore is Shawn Michaels, Scott Hall.
Wow.
Yeah. Mick Foley and Ric Flair. Those were the four that most inspired me to want to do this thing.
Wow. After everything you just said about Dusty and you were growing on me, the Scott Hall one I'll give you. HBK, okay. Foley, yeah. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you on any of them, but I just thought Dusty was going to make it. I was pulling for him. I really was.
I was too, but you know what? The more I think about it, the more I realize I'm not going to win the dance-off, and I probably won't win the match. So I had to take him off the mountain.
Oh, wow. That's harsh. That's damn harsh.
Yeah, it is. It is.
So you were growing up more so a WWF fan?
Absolutely, but I also remember we lived out in the boonies, and we had a satellite dish.
One of those huge ones?
Yes, one of the huge ones that you hit a button and the whole thing would rotate.
Yes.
So we would get like live feeds of basketball games with no commercials, things like that. And keep in mind, I'm in the Seattle area, and I was getting ECW from Philadelphia channel stations when I was like 7 or 8 years old. So I always been a big WWF and ECW fan growing up.
So favorite ECW star then?
Oh, of all time, Rob Van Dam for sure.
That's who I could see you going against.
Hell yeah, that'd be a good match too.
That would be a great match. Besides your outfits, the similar style I could see. I really could.
Well, that's a huge compliment. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. All right. Kids getting into wrestling, youngsters getting into wrestling right now. What kind of advice do you give them?
The best advice I ever had came from Joey Matthews. He said, "Never miss an opportunity to shut the fuck up."
Wow.
Yeah. And basically what that means is to keep your mouth shut, your eyes and ears open, and learn as much as you can. You're always going to be learning. This is a sport or a business that you're never not learning. There's always something to learn, because at the end of the day, it's an art, and you always have some kind of new ground to discover and things to accomplish. So that quote from Joey has always stuck with me.
Nice.
I hope I can say that on the air here.
You can. We are very explicit on the air, so don't worry.
Hell yeah.
Final thing before I give you your to-dos to do your thanks and this, that, and the other, and it just left my mind. It really did.
Okay.
No, that's how, that's what happens when you drink and do podcasts at the same time.
That's a shame.
It's really not. So where are you in DL3 going right now? Are you guys gonna kind of continue to do single stuff, or are you gonna get in the mix of things that you already are with the War Kings and King's Ransom?
Me and Dave, we've been doing a singles thing here lately, but I miss him in my corner, and I think he misses me. We still have a lot left to do as far as a team, and I think you should be on the lookout for that on OVW TV.
Nice. Okay, tell everybody where we can find you and your social media and how everybody's going to love you. And honestly, what the hell are you doing right now? Working out?
I was working out before you called me, so I'm going to have to finish that here at some point today. Other than that, though, you can catch me on Twitter, Instagram, at Shiloh, Shiloh, Jonze, Jonze. And that's the best place to find me. My raps and my Instagram story is pretty entertaining, so check that out too.
Nice. All right. Shiloh, I want to thank you for the time. Anything else you want to talk about? Where are you going? Do you have anything else in the hopper besides OVW right now?
OVW, I'll be doing some shows in Louisiana here very shortly. But really, there's a lot cooking that I can't talk about yet with OVW, so keep your eyes open.
Right. I actually know what you're cooking. So one last question. Were you a Supersonics fan?
Absolutely. Sean Kemp, Gary Payton, Detlef Schrempf, Nate McMillan, Vincent Askew, Frank Bukowski, everybody. I was a season ticket holder, actually. So
do they need another team in Seattle?
Absolutely. You know, it's cool because when they talk about expansion, the first two cities that come up are Seattle and Louisville. So I hope it happens.
You could get both of them. You would be
I would get both of them.
Right?
That'd be a dream come true.
Continuing Mariners fan then?
Somewhat. The year that they had the best record and then lost in the playoffs immediately kind of soured my Mariners love. But what can you do?
Right. All right. I've beaten a dead horse now. Shiloh, thanks for everything, and I will see you personally May and beginning of June in Louisville.
Hell yeah. Word to your mother. I'll see you then.
So as you can tell, Shiloh's a bit of a character in OVW, but guys, what he does in the ring is phenomenal. Some of the matches, please go on YouTube, look up Shiloh Jonze and watch some of the stuff that he can do. It's fun. OVW, guys, I cannot continue to stress how much you need to watch this. If you have one to watch and you really can't put in the time for WWE, NXT, SmackDown, Raw, guys, stick to OVW. It's an hour a week. It's on YouTube. You'll like it. You get so many different angles. So much happens within that hour, and it's free. You don't need to pay for it. It's on YouTube. The TV tapings happen on Wednesday. They show it on Saturday, and then it's up in our area, being in Pennsylvania and outside of Kentucky, more or less. You'll get it Monday or Tuesday, so you're not that far off of what's going on. You'll know what's going on by the next week. Just look up OVW on YouTube. But let's talk more about Shiloh Jonze. From wanting to fight or dance against Dusty Rhodes to now shimmy and shaking with Shawn Michaels and then taking on The Undertaker. 2 of the 3 could still really happen. Could it happen? I don't know. Guys, I love doing these spotlights. I love letting you guys know about the stars of tomorrow that are down in OVW. Please get on Facebook, like them, follow them. Follow Shiloh because, goddamn, he just does crazy stuff. He really does. So, again, if you're a wrestler, if you're a promoter, please contact us at CanCrusher69. We would love to spotlight some of your people as well. These interviews that I do with these craziness, it goes from Rose Wild that is, just so sweet and look good, smell good, to all of a sudden Shiloh Jonze F-bombing in the middle of the podcast and just having fun. He wanted to be a bushwhacker. Is that a life goal? I don't know. Nonetheless, folks, there's a lot of wrestling this weekend. Watch it. We love wrestling. But always, 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 always remember, just because you're trash doesn't mean you can't do great things. It's called a garbage can, not a garbage cannot. See you next week, folks.